The sky is the limit. Hello everybody, welcome back. My name is Sherwin, and today in this episode I'll be reviewing a new launch in Holland that is coming up 26th of September called Skye at Holland. Before you rush to make any show flat viewing, do watch till the end of my video so that you can gain some clarity as to whether this project is suitable for you or not. Okay, without further ado, let's go through the content which I will be diving into today. First will be some quick facts and information about the project itself. Secondly, I'll be going through the project based on my 3E framework. First will be the right entry price and exit strategy. Second will be efficiency. Third will be the emotions involved in buying the project. And lastly would be a summary of 3 reasons why personally I would not consider this project and 3 reasons why personally I would consider this project. Firstly, the location of Skye at Holland. If you look at the map here, right, Skye at Holland is just situated right beside One Holland Village. It is within the 3 to 5 minutes walking distance to the MRT, so the livability factor of this project itself is very high. Secondly will be the project info. If you look at it, there's only 2 blocks for the project. Highest level is level 40 and a total of 666 units, jointly developed by 4 reputable developers, so you can expect amazing things from them. I visited the show flat, looks amazing, but as usual all show flats are supposed to look amazing so that they can sell. Okay, expected TOP is in 31st October 2029 on paper. Okay. This is the site plan, so lots of facilities you can see. The shape of the project itself is like an L shape. So what they do, right, one side is the facilities and the other will be 2 tower blocks. Why so? I believe the developers angle in a way so that they don't waste the view. You don't directly face into One Holland Village residences and you get an unblocked view front and back. And these are the unit mix. There's no 1 bedroom, starting from 2 bed 1 bath. Do take note, this is a post-harmonized project. So out of the 666 units, the focus is actually on the bigger unit type, because most of the project nowadays, they build up to 60 to 65% on the 1 bedroom and 2 bedroom. But for this, the developer actually cater more to the bigger unit type, even including the 5 bedroom. So it's more towards the needs of the area itself. I believe developers have done their research and a lot of homestay element. Okay, so let's proceed with the first E, which I will use to evaluate this project, which is the right entry price and whether they have a strong or not exit strategy. For Skye at Holland is actually a core central region project falling within District 10. So just to highlight, developers have not released any indicative prices yet. Whatever I've shown, including the price matrix, is based on my estimation, aggregation, and my research based on the new launches and the resale. So if you were to look at the new launches launched within the past 2 years around this area, from the OCR area, Alta, to the RCR, Pine Tree Hill, Nava Grove, Bloomsbury, and upcoming Penreef, and the CCR area, recently launched River Green and Promenade Peak, sorry. I use this to form the basis of how I think developer will price and what I feel is a fair pricing. All these are the land bid price and break even. If you look at Skye at Holland, right, one of the main attraction for this project itself is they're saying it's the most affordable or right entry price project into a CCR area because of its attractive and low land bid price at 1,285 PSF. Most of the CCR project, their PSF are way above 1,003 already. So to be able to find something that is below 1,002 or 1,003 is really very attractive. But then again, you will have to see how the developers would want to price their units. Okay, for the OCR area, Alta, which is at Clementi, right, is already transacting the highest at 2,881 PSF. Averagely transacted around 2003 to 2004. And just a few streets down the road, you have Pine Tree Hill and Nava Grove around the Ulu Pandan area, falls into the RCR region. Highest transacted is close to 2008 PSF as well. And averagely, they're transacting around 2004 to 2000 PSF. So if you were to look at the CCR area, Skye Holland is in between, right? It's right at the fringe of CCR and RCR. So RCR is pricing highest around 2008. CCR is starting from 2007 onwards, with units hitting to 3005, 3006 PSF as seen in Promenade Peak and River Green. So I believe, right, developers will price their units starting from 2008 PSF for the lower floor units. Of course, with CCR projects hitting 3,000, 3,005 PSF, I believe developer will not miss out this opportunity as well. There will be prices that are way above 3,000 PSF, because do note the highest is a 40-year story. So developer will stage up the price in a more systematic way. So if you want a better view of the GCB area or the city view, then you would have to pay for that. But if they price at 26, 27 PSF, then I believe it is a steal lah. But fair market value for low floor unit will be around 2008 PSF, and inching towards higher floor, I believe they will go 3004, 3005, 3006, and averagely maybe you will see around 3001, 3002 PSF. Okay, so for the resale in the area, just right next door, what is already being transacted, even though it's just one unit, but the one unit is on the one of the higher floor with an unblocked view, transacted at 3781 PSF for one Holland Village. The asking price for the owners there are around 2,760 all the way to 3,009 PSF, which is almost 4,000. And for recent projects like Hugh at Holland and Leiden Green, similarly, their owners asking way above 3,000 PSF. And for Leiden, which is an older project, surprisingly, there's already units which transacted at 2,748 PSF, which is quite a high for a project that is around 11, 12 years old already. So 2008, I feel, would be the entry level for Skye at Holland. Wouldn't say it's expensive or not. Nowadays, everything is not cheap. It's just whether you are paying the right price for it, which is a fair market price lah. Okay, so if it's from 2008, something on the low floor for 2 bed 1 bath will be around 1.6 million. 2 bedroom premium will be around 1.86 million. 2 bedroom plus study will be starting from 2 million. 3 bedroom compact will be 2.56 million. 3 bedroom premium will be 3 million onwards. 4 bedroom will be from 3.46 million, 4 bedroom premium would be from 4 million onwards, and of course the most luxurious and spacious 5 bedroom will be from 4.94 million onwards. This is for 2008 PSF. With that in mind, let's move on to the exit strategy. We all know how developer will price it. 2008 to 3002, I feel it's a fair market value. Anything higher depends on your emotion, whether you want to pay for higher floor if it's your own stay, for a longer term period, then it doesn't really matter. Maybe it justifies for the additional 200-300 PSF. So for the exit strategy for Skye at Holland, personally, I don't feel it is very, very, very strong. A few points why I say so. Firstly, is the last GLS within 1 km radius of Holland Village MRT. And we all know, right, if there's no GLS, right, there's nothing else to push up the prices of the area, and you will be like the benchmark for all the resale property over there. You will be the most expensive lah, which can be a double-edged sword at some time. Okay, and secondly is the number of HDB upgraders there is limited, and even if there are, which is at Holland Vista, there's only 342 units. Some might argue that there might be spillover demand from the more mature estate where you have lots of $1 million HDB like Redhill, Ghim Moh, Dover, Commonwealth. But the issue with that is those that buying into a new BTO, they will fall under the Prime or Plus scheme, and their MOP period will be much longer. So your demand would be reduced in the short term lah. Okay? And thirdly is there's no schools, not even good schools, there's no schools within a 1 km radius. So for people that are considering to buy in the Holland area, they might gear more towards the Ulu Pandan area or area that are closer to Henry Park. So all these 3 points, right, make your exit strategy slightly weaker. And on top of it all, right, there's no transformation for Holland Village itself. There's only rejuvenation. It makes the area more lively, but doesn't really add more monetary value to the area itself. Because if you remember from all my previous video, when I always talk about transformation, it is always value of transformation equals to the impact the transformation bring, multiplied by the timeline taken for transformation to happen. In this case, there's neither lah. So you can see the exit strategy based on such a perspective, it is on the weaker side. Okay, so who would be your buyers then, or who would be buying Skye at Holland? It most likely be people that grew up in the area, people that like the amenities within the area, or people that are looking to right size and have been staying around Holland V their entire life. Because if you look at this map itself, right, you are actually in a landed enclave and surrounded by landed and GCBs. So if they grew up in the area and if they want to retire or right size, they'll either buy something nearby, or if they want to buy for their kids in the future to stay near them, it will also be in this location as well. And being the last condo in this area, it will be highly sought after by this group of buyers. Okay. The other thing is if you're buying for investment, rental demand would be relatively high because you are close proximity to educational belt and business hub. And nowadays, I don't know whether people do realize there are more and more students renting, be it in a co-living situation or what, for places near to their educational hub. They don't stay in hostel anymore. So the spillover demand into Holland Village will still be there because of its reputation. Okay, and to sum it all up, not all is bad, even though there's no transformation and everything, but because of the limited supply in Holland area, the demand might still outweigh the supply, especially if you look at this chart over here, for the 4-bedroom and 5-bedroom units, even for the 3-bedroom units, within a 1 km radius, there's just so little units there available. Assuming none of them are selling or just a few of them are selling, your choices are very limited. So Skye Holland presents an opportunity for people that have been looking in the Holland area for the longest time for something new and something that is relatively huge, right, to enter. Just because there's no supply and the developers bought the land cheap. Of course, how they want to price it depends on how much they want to profit lah. And the other thing is for Skye Holland, it is one of the larger scale development within the area as well. Most of it nearby are freehold projects. People might argue freehold is better, but the number of units, right, is very, very limited. Okay, as you can see, it's like Urban Edge at Holland V is only 31 units. Ash Street Meadows is 208 units. The biggest one is Parvis, is only 248 units. The rest of them, right, are way below 100 units, some even below 50 units. Okay, that's why the developer is very smart. Going back to the unit mix, right, they build a lot of 3, 4 and 5 bedroom because they believe this project cater for people who want to stay in Holland for the long term and lack of alternative within the surrounding. So that's it for the entry and exit strategy. Next, I'll move on to efficiency. I don't have to introduce the amenities for Holland Village a lot. Ever since One Holland Village is up, more and more people are visiting the area, especially people with pets or young couple. So if you go down, even on a weekday night, it is relatively crowded. Amenities wise, cannot hiam lah. Everything is there. Even your MRT station is really almost at your doorstep already. Okay. Next will be the view. Not really perfect. I think it's because they want to avoid facing One Holland Village, right? That's why they angle the units in a certain way facing each other, like 2 blocks. So the first thing is for those unblocked view for the stack 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, right, which are the more premium facing unit, you'll be facing the unblocked landed view, which for the longest time you'll be there lah. So you ensure you have this greenery unblocked view for the longest time. The other side of the view would be towards Holland Village Botanic Gardens and Marina Bay, also unblocked because they are all low rise. So as long as you pass a certain level, it's unblocked. But the only thing for the units that's facing the GCB, which is the greenery view, right, is they are northwest facing. And certain time of the year, you do get the west sun anchored into your unit. So if you're someone that is really, really particular, especially when Singapore weather is so hot nowadays, right, you might want to avoid buying the units here. Okay, but then again, if you don't really mind, then just invest in those tinting or a more blackout curtain. Then at night they open the windows. Okay. The other thing to note is because of the, I would say, odd shape of the land itself, like an L shape, right? And they don't want to face One Holland Village, right? They actually placed 2 towers side by side, and they are quite close to each other. The distance from stack 2 to 11 is around 31 meters only, which is even shorter than a lap pool. So your privacy might be intruded in a way lah. So for those that prefer unblocked, spacious, exclusive, maybe you will consider other projects like what's that called, Pine Tree Hill or Nava Grove, just for an example. Okay, so for efficiency, right, amenities wise, fantastic. Views wise, really very subjective. Depends on what you like and what you dislike, and of course the entry price lah. Next would be diving into the floor plan. One thing which I think the developers did very well, especially for all the post-harmonization project, is their floor plan is getting more and more efficient than the pre-harmonization project. Let's just look at comparison within 3 recent launches. First is Skye Holland, which is the 581 square feet, 2-bed, 1 bath. 570 square feet Hill on Holland, and the 2-bed, 1 bath, 689 square feet One Holland Village. The first thing you would notice for Hue on Holland and One Holland Village is the big AC ledge which is included into our floor space, and secondly would be the balcony area. Okay, so these two already eats up a lot into your space really. And when I visited the show flat, right, because I've seen Hue and Holland and One Holland Village before, the difference in the bedroom size, right, is really quite significant. Okay. Okay, moving on to the 2-bed 2-bath comparison for Skye at Holland, Hue at Holland, and One Holland Village. The most distinct difference, right, I'll just point out to 3. First is Skye at Holland has an enclosable kitchen as compared to the other 2 open concept kitchen right smack at the entrance corridor. Second is the balcony space. Skye at Holland has a perfect balcony size as compared to the other 2 where you have like huge ass balcony. Not depending on your usage, some people prefer balcony, but personally, I feel if a balcony is too huge, especially in Singapore weather nowadays, it's not very usable. I rather have more usable space in the unit itself. And lastly, right, is the placement of the bathroom. Because Skye at Holland is a dumbbell layout for the 2-bed 2-bath, right, there's no wasted corridor space. And they very cleverly designed the way, right, that the second bedroom has a Jack and Jill bathroom. So the guests can use if they visit, but the second bedroom is also something like a junior master. Whereas if you notice for the other 2 older projects, right, the bedroom itself, right, and the second bathroom is detached. Okay, these are small design that really make a very huge difference when people visit the unit, especially when you are a small family and you have a kid and they want their own privacy. And this would be the 2-bedroom plus study. Okay, Skye at Holland actually copy the design of Sora, which some people might like, some people might not like. If you see where the study for Skye at Holland is placed, it's actually placed in the master bedroom area, and it has a door leading to the balcony. So what this means, right, means you have a larger master bedroom space. Because for more traditional layout, right, it's usually when you walk in, it will be master bath at the side, study in the middle, and master bedroom on the other side. Okay, if you can visualize, or it will be study right at your entrance area. But this design, right, personally, I like it more because if I don't have the use of the space of the study, can hack away that wall, shift the study closer to the window, and the other side, right, can be my cabinet area. Okay, of course, it also have an enclosable kitchen as compared to the other 2 units, and it doesn't have any wasted space on the corridor. And no huge ass balcony lah. Next would be the 3-bedroom compact, which I'll be comparing the 915 square feet for Skye at Holland, 936 square feet for Hue on Holland, and lastly, the 109 square feet for One Holland Village. The age here, which I will give what I prefer more in terms of layout, would be the 109 square feet for the One Holland Village, just because they have an additional utility room. So in terms of resale buyer or buyer in the area, if they do have a helper or they have kids and they need storage, that utility room is a huge difference. Hue on Holland is really more for rental or young couples that do not cook, because they have a L-shaped open kitchen concept. Even though they do cater a island top, kitchen top in the middle of the kitchen area, it is still a bit unconventional lah. Okay, so moving on, we'll be comparing the premium 3-bedroom type for the 3 different condos. 107 square feet for Skye at Holland, 1055 square feet for Hue on Holland, and 1238 square feet for One Holland Village. Okay, the 3-bedroom for One Holland Village has a private lift leading to your foyer lah. And for Hue on Holland, this time round they have a proper wet and dry kitchen, and it is a dumbbell layout 3-bedroom. But one thing which I do not really like, and when you step in and view the units, the bedroom size for 2 and 3 is really small. Okay, so this is something you do have to take note. And the other thing is the master bedroom bathroom, right, do not have any windows. So it's a bit weird lah. But the wide frontage for Hue on Holland and One Holland Village residences, right, is something that will appeal to me, especially when you have unblocked view. Something which I feel the developers might or should have done slightly better is they should have a wider living area rather than a longer living area for the 3-bedroom at Skye at Holland lah. But with that being said, the units at Skye at Holland, the bedroom size are huge, and they have a proper wet and dry kitchen, and this time round they have a bomb shelter as well. Okay, and moving on, right, we're going to compare the 4-bedroom, and there's no 4-bedroom for Hugh on Holland. That's why we're only comparing Skye at Holland and one Holland Village. The most distinct difference, right, is the placement of the junior master bedroom and the kitchen area. Okay, if you were to notice, right, for the kitchen area for Skye at Holland, the developers actually make it a point to integrate the kitchen with the living and dining area. So the moment you step in, right, you realize the entire space is much bigger with the sliding glass door. Whereas for one Holland Village, right, the kitchen is actually tucked right at a corner itself. So depending on preference, but for me, if I were to entertain more, I have guests coming over more often, I'll prefer the layout at Skye at Holland. And because of the way they place the junior master, if you're having guests over, the junior master position might be slightly awkward. Okay, that's just my own personal preference. Okay, there's a 5-bedroom floor plan for Skye at Holland. I'll just put it here for your reference. Very beautiful layout, but the thing is there's no comparison for the 5-bedroom. So it is very, very rare for the 5-bedroom in the area. But then again, the question you will be asking yourself, for the same budget that you're putting in to buy a 5-bedroom there, is there an alternative of product in other areas where you would have purchased a landed? For example, Serangoon. Because 5 million, I think you can get inter-terrace easily and still have some money for renovation. Okay, but then again, for those that do not like landed or looking to right size into a huge floor plate, right, so you don't have to climb up and down the stairs, the 5-bedroom is perfect for you. And just now I show you the unit supply within the area. There's only 8 5-bedders within a 1 km radius. So this is really something that is very rare if you're looking to right size. Okay. The last part will be the emotional value, which is very hard for me to justify today because we do not know the price yet. So whether you want to pay a premium for the units itself, depending on what is available on the floor type and the facing, and how high can you go. Because if the per level jump is $10,000 to $15,000, where do you stop? Because from level 1 all the way to level 40, right, there's 40 stories. So assuming every story they only jump by $10,000, the 40th story unit will be at least $400,000 more expensive than the unit on the first floor. So how do you justify the price you are paying with the emotional value you are getting? Okay, that is more towards a one-to-one consultation based on your objective and needs and how long you intend to hold the property for. Okay? In summary, for this project, the 3 reasons why I would buy Skye at Holland is because it is in a condo in a low supply mature estate area. Okay? There is no other alternative if they die one Holland area. Okay? The layout is very efficient for at least, or rather for the bigger type units, the 4 and 5 bedrooms. 3 bedrooms subjective depending on which layout you are going for. Personally, I would have preferred a wider frontage for the living if it is facing an unblocked view. But then again, they have an enclosed kitchen, proper yard area, very, very good bedroom size. You have to come down to see to feel it. That's why I would encourage those that are buying for own stay, consider 3, 4, 5 bedroom. And lastly, this might be your only chance to enter into the lowest entry price, right? For not just this year, next year, but for the past 2 years, right? They are the lowest entry price for a CCR project, which you might not get a chance anyhow. Because even for the project, which was just bidded, the GLS at Holland Link, the land bid is already 1,004. Break even should be around 2,003, 2,004 PSM. Developers estimated pricing will be 3,001, 3,002 and above. Okay. With that being said, not everything is sunshine and rainbow. These are the 3 reasons why I would not buy. Firstly, we'll go back to it being the last plot of GLS pricing issue. I'm setting the benchmark pricing for the entire area within Holland Village. With the same amount of budget, if I just shift out a bit, can I get something bigger or not with more upside potential? Secondly, it's because there is no strong exit strategy. There's no transformation in the area. So people that I'm selling to in the future, they would be very emotional buyers or buyers that really like the area itself or grew up in the area. And the demand for that might not be as strong as some would think it is. And lastly is there's no perfect facing for the unit, at least to me because I'm currently staying in the unit that is facing the west sun, and West Sun is really, really hot lah. But because this is my own perspective, okay? And even the inwards facing units, the distance itself is very narrow. And to me, I prefer myself not looking directly into my neighbor. And even if I'm looking into my neighbor unit, right, at least the gap, right, must be of a certain distance lah. And that leaves me with very limited choice unit, which is the other view, the stack 13, 14, 15 and 16 lah. So I would say, to sum it all up, this is a very own stay area. People that are buying will be more emotional buyers. If you are investor looking for rental yield, will be great because of all the transformation happening on the one-off area, decentralization. But if you are looking to flip in the next 2, 3 or 4 years, maybe the demand wouldn't be as strong yet based on the above points I've given. That's all. That is just my own personal opinion and perspective based on my research. If you want a more in-depth discussion based on your current scenario, please do reach out to me and we can always have a coffee session and have a friendly debate. Remember to like, share and subscribe my video. My name is Sherwin and I will share with you other videos another day.